Hello, and welcome. Welcome on into the Swear Word. I'm your host, Brandon Swear, and hey, this is a podcast for the chili head community, by the chili head community. Regardless of your spice tolerance, this is the place for you. Happy New Year, and I hope everyone's enjoying 2025. We have an amazing episode here tonight. We have two sauces on deck for Hot or Not, as well as an amazing guest, locked and loaded. And of course, we have a nice game planned. So let's go ahead and start episode 66. Hey, welcome on in, Swear Nation. Happy New Year. Hope everyone had an amazing time celebrating the new year and starting things off right. If you're focused on, building that tolerance, hopefully you are adding to it each and every day. Small amounts help to continue to build that tolerance and get it going. If you're just now interested and you're wanting to break into it, this is your year to start eating spicy, whatever that may be for you. Don't compare yourself to others. It is your own personal journey, and that's the coolest part about this. So definitely interested in hearing about everyone's plans, if they're going to continue to push their tolerance, if they're just going to start trying out spicy food in general. Leave a comment. Let me know. I'm super interested to hear that. But hey, we have an amazing episode here tonight. We have two sauces on deck for Hot or Not tonight. Those are from DragonFire Hot Sauce. That is a hot sauce company out of Dallas, Texas area, and definitely excited to dive into these sauces. And we also have Dan, the owner of DragonFire Hot Sauce, locked and loaded for tonight's episode. So we will be having a great discussion with Dan, as well as we have brought in the 5. So 2 fun rounds on the 5. Jump in. Let us know if you would have answered anything different than the way that Dan did. If this is your first time checking out the show, thank you so much for being here, rocking with me, starting off 2025 right. It is, the place to be for everything from the world of hot. You can catch new episodes every Tuesday and Thursday. Share this out with other chili heads or individuals that are really interested in, dabbling into the world of spice. This is a great avenue for them to learn about all these hot sauce companies, all these products that are out there, and have some fun doing it. Thank you again if you're tuning in from YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, or Rumble. Thank you so much for being here. Y'all are amazing. Couldn't do this without any of y'all, so thank you so much. But let's go ahead and start Hot or Not. Hey, welcome on into Hot or Not. We have 2 sauces on deck tonight. Both of them are from DragonFire Hot Sauce. Excited to get into this. This is a local company to the DFW area, just starting out. And man, I had the chance of meeting up at North Texas Hot Sauce Fest, and man, it was an absolute blast to be able to see the passion and see all the fun that he is having, creating these sauces and sharing these sauces with the community. So let's get a close-up of the sauce and the labeling. So DragonFire, it has a Dungeons and Dragon, that tabletop RPG feel, and even the presence that was given at North Texas Hot Sauce Fest was very much that way. So excited to get into these. We have the 2 sauces that we have here on deck tonight is Brass and Gold. So definitely looking forward to diving into both of these. But let's go ahead and we'll start out with Brass. Okay, right off the bat, does have a perforated pull tab. So go ahead and get that started here. Give it a good pull. Nice, simple. Get the trash out of the way. Give it a good shake. Love the color on this sauce. The sauce is named Brass. It does have that almost brass look to it. Maybe a little bit darker in hue, but nothing too far off from that. You see some nice charred bits, some seeds, some pulp. I mean, this overall looks like a nice thicker sauce, like a medium to thick consistency. It's got a nice flow. You can hear it when you shake it. Let's get that seal popped, dropped, and there we go. Oh, wow. Right off the bat, A nice fruity aroma comes forward. A little bit of a smoky note, and maybe some overall onion, bell pepper-esque type of that savory nature to it. It kind of like from a cooking standpoint, how both of those ingredients kind of add a nice body and depth to what you're cooking. That's definitely what I'm picking up here. Smells like a little bit on, I can definitely pick up a bit of the peppers, but that overall note that's coming forward is very fruity. It is very inviting. It's crisp, fresh. I'm loving it. Let's grab the spoon and get into this. So this is DragonFire Brass, and there's the pour. Oh yeah, nice medium consistency. Flow is great. The second you get it going, it is going. So it smells just as good as it does in the bottle on the spoon. Sometimes it does change the overall aroma. If this is your first time checking out the show, I do things a bit different here. I do a 1 out of 5 scale, not a 1 out of 10. So that is based off of 5 different categories. So you'll hear me talk about flavor, aroma, versatility, heat, and burn. And I definitely break down heat and burn as 2 separate things. Heat is that initial 30 seconds. It's that initial pop that you're getting from the sauce. The burn is where it sits, how it sits, where it lingers. Does it build? Does it fade away? Does it migrate around the mouth? All these things matter. So that's how I break that down. And I always like to let my taste buds do their exploration. And I really leave reading the ingredients till the end. So here we go. Oh, wow. Wow. Fruity, savory, smoky. First 3 things that you get greeted with. A little bit on the fruity side comes, as the fruity side's coming in, that savory note really starts to just, if fruity was moving forward like this, savory was coming in as fruity was going out. But the beauty of it is as these flavors really start to let one and the other really take over from the whole picture, they kind of dial back to a certain point, and then everything just sits there harmoniously throughout. Absolutely loving this one. Nice heat on this sauce. Right off the bat, you're getting a nice mouth and lip hit and burn and tingle. And then it really starts to migrate towards the back of the throat. It sits there, it parks there, and it just ramps up the heat and continues to build and intensify. Absolutely amazing. If this is your, if you're just starting out and you're just really starting to get into building up your tolerance and dabbling in hot sauces, this is definitely one that you would be able to use, enjoy, but moderation is key, definitely when starting out, and definitely whenever you're starting to walk your tolerance up. Moderation is key. It's much easier to add more. You can never take away once it's in. Let's talk about the versatility on this sauce here. So I could see myself using this on a plethora of different dishes. The main thing I probably wouldn't be going towards is going to be a dessert. Don't worry there. It's not a dessert sauce. That's not the main focus. The sweetness from the fruit is not overly sweet. There isn't this overpowering sweet nature to it. It is just very well balanced. The fruit is there more for the flavor and kind of that latching, binding effect is what it feels like, because whenever it comes in, it latches onto onto your tongue, the gums, and really just soaks in that flavor. And then as that latches on, it brings the heat with it. Absolutely phenomenal. Man, I'm just still salivating like crazy over that. I would definitely say this is a great table sauce right here, too, for anyone that's, they're actively pushing their tolerance. This is a nice medium heat sauce that you're going to be able to enjoy. You're going to be able to pick up and just go to town and use like crazy, because it is tasty as can be and very well balanced on heat. So, I think overall the burn on this one is more intense than the initial heat. Definitely something that I would expect from a sauce like this. It delivers so much flavor up front that burn is really where it starts to intensify. So once again, if you're just starting out, moderation is key. Use a little bit on your food, try it out. If you're comfortable with where that sits, add some more, and then find out that threshold where you start to feel like, man, this is pushing me, but I'm still enjoying it, and just keep it right there. And then next thing you know, you're going to want to start walking it up. For brass from DragonFire, we have ingredients of peach, onion, bell pepper, garlic, habanero, vinegar, honey, and spices. You know, I mentioned that the fruit was the thing that really delivered and latched onto the tongue and the gums, and allowing that flavor to just latch on, sink in, also bringing the heat and making that latch in and sink in. The between the fruit and the honey on this, both of those ingredients really act in that manner and deliver that unifying great taste that comes forward, but also, you know, allows it to just latch in and build. And so love what's going on here. Very limited ingredients, very well done. As listed here, artisan hot sauce, handcrafted in Dallas, Texas. Very well done. This is, once again, a habanero peach hot sauce. Nice heat, very well executed using only the habaneros, delivering a nice heat pop on this. One that everyone can enjoy, everyone can use, and I'm excited to see what DragonFire continues to do, and see what Dan is cranking out in the future. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and read off the scores for brass. This is from DragonFire Hot Sauce. Heat coming in at 3.2, aroma of 3.79, flavor of 4.11, versatility of a 4, and a burn of 3.64 for a total swear word rating of 3.75. There we go. Another amazing sauce. This one is from DragonFire Hot Sauce. This is the brass hot sauce from DragonFire. Absolutely love it. If you're interested in checking that one out, I'll have the links for it down below. Let's go ahead and jump on over to DragonFire Gold Hot Sauce now. All right. So once again, nice overall color to this sauce. It's got that yellowish gold hue to this sauce. You're seeing nice pepper bits. You're seeing some what looks like spices going on in this, as well as I can't tell if that's either charred or if that is also some black pepper that's floating around in there. Either way, nice medium consistency sauce. Yet again, great overall look and depth to the sauce. So get this pull tab going. Simple, easy, effective, done. And get that off to the side. Give it a good shake. All right, here we go. Let's get this one opened up. Oh, wow. Right off the bat, I can already tell you there is a great savory note to this. I'm picking up pineapple. I'm picking up the pepper aroma carrying forward. Almost has a the spices itself. It smells amazing. I cannot wait to get into this. Let's do this. Let's grab my spoon. We'll get this pour going here. This is Gold from DragonFire. Here we go. Once it gets going, it gets going. Cheers. Wow. Wow. That sauce is absolutely amazing. Right off the bat, second it hits, you're getting this pineapple taste. You're getting a very Caribbean jerk style taste to this sauce. Very well delivered throughout. The interesting thing is the heat on this one. Now, right off the bat, the heat that you're getting is very, very much more tame than, say, brass in that delivery. but you're getting so much more flavor right off the start. Maybe a very slight tongue sizzle on this one compared to brass, but loads and loads of flavor. If you are into a jerk style sauce, if you're into the pineapple overall taste, this is absolutely amazing. There is so much savory depth to this sauce. Even with the pineapple taste coming forward, you're not getting hit with that sweet pineapple. That pineapple clearly has to be, fire roasted just by the way that it tastes. It just brings forward that depth, that body from the pineapple without that sweet, taste. The overall heat is very reasonable, very much one that you could be able to jump into and enjoy if you're just starting out. If this is, you're actively pushing yourself, you've been pushing yourself to increase your tolerance, and you're in the game and you're doing it, this is going to be a nice mild to medium sauce on the Gold. So absolutely love it. Love what's going on here. Let's do this. Let's talk about the versatility real quick. I think with this sauce, even though both of these are fruit-based sauces, I'm probably not going to gravitate initially to thinking about using them in a dessert. This, as I start to think about this sauce and brass, so between brass and Gold, I think I could see myself potentially using some on a dessert, but in a very small amount, only really to kind of carry forward some of that flavor without really distorting everything else that's going on. This right here is going to go phenomenal on any kind of chicken or like protein and rice dishes, any kind of sandwiches, definitely some soups, some stews, pizza, burgers, you name it. This thing's going to go phenomenal in there. Tacos, of course, definitely. I would love to see this on a Caribbean or some kind of style of taco that would lend itself to a jerk sauce, because that is going to be absolutely phenomenal. The ingredients on DragonFire Gold Hot Sauce says pineapple, onion, bell pepper, manzano chili, Scotch bonnet chili, garlic, vinegar, spices, and contains soy. The heartiness to it is really coming from those peppers and that pineapple. Love what is able to be accomplished in this sauce with just very limited ingredients. Knocked it out of the park. DragonFire Hot Sauce. This was DragonFire Gold. Absolutely phenomenal sauce. Love a good jerk sauce that's able to utilize the Scotch bonnet pepper, because it is a phenomenal pepper, and the manzano, is not one that you typically see in a hot sauce. So love seeing it here. Very well executed, and kudos there, Dan, on that one. All right, so let's go ahead and read off these scores here. This is for DragonFire Gold. Heat coming in at 2.99, aroma of 3.89, flavor of 4.42, versatility of a 4, and a burn of 3.3 for a total swear word rating of 3.72. There we go. An amazing sauce. If you're into Caribbean jerk style sauces and you want a nice medium heat sauce, this is definitely one to grab. If you're looking to build that tolerance, you want all that flavor, this is a phenomenal sauce for you to jump into and really be able to shake up and change up some of those dishes. Let's go ahead and jump on over and talk with Dan from DragonFire. Hey, Dan, how's it going?
Hey, doing all right. How are you?
Man, I am doing good. So glad to have you here. We had the pleasure of crossing paths at North Texas Hot Sauce Fest, and I was initially caught by your 20-sided die that you had on your table, as I had just recently learned about that dice in general. I had seen them before, but never really understood why or how they were used, and it definitely caught my attention. I would assume it worked out pretty well to draw some other folks over to your table as well.
My kind of general dragon fire is kind of based on the dragons found in Dungeons and Dragons, and so you know, classically the 20-sided dice is used heavily in that game. So I got a big fluffy one that I found, I think, on Amazon or something, and I throw it on the table and I let people roll it. The kids, like generally, it's like the kids come over and roll it, and then the parents, I like talk to them about it.
What got you into the world of spicy? What was that initial moment like teetering you in? And then what was that initial moment when you were like, you know what, I'm gonna start creating a hot sauce?
Yeah, so the I would say I slowly kind of started progressing in my pursuit of spice and like heat levels after college. Although I do have one distinct memory from before college. It was do you remember those candies, the like atomic warheads?
Oh yeah. Oh
The
yeah.
cinnamon, they were the cinnamon ones because right now they have the sour warheads.
Okay, yeah.
But in the past, maybe they still have them. I don't know. I just haven't seen them in a while. But they're like a spicy, intense cinnamon, almost like a red hot in steroids.
Yep.
It was jawbreaker sized. In middle school, this was my first memory of like real me really encountering like something really spicy. In middle school on a dare, somebody challenged me to do 3 of those at once. And to one up him, I did 4 of them. And so I put 4 of those in my mouth and I kept them there until they fully dissolved. And it was just like a middle school, like, showing off or whatever. Uh, but it's that memory stands out to me because it's so funny. That was like a Friday evening, and then the next morning, I distinctly remember my mom made pancakes or whatever, and so I was eating them, and at some point I just looked at her and I was like, "These taste like cardboard." And then my brother looks at me and he's like, "What? Like these taste fine?" And it turns out I'd completely lost my sense of taste for like anyway. That was wild. But it wasn't really until college, and once I like became an adult that because one thing was I was introduced really to like Indian foods, Thai foods, kind of some of the more Asian cuisines that have spicier heat levels. I really got to like curries and stuff, and that's when I kind of started like upping my spice tolerance. So, um, as for hot sauce, I'd always been a big fan of hot sauce and breakfast. So, any IHOP or Denny's, whatever, always going to bust out I prefer Cholula over Tabasco personally. Although I will say Tabasco Chipotle flavor is delicious. Um, but so I first made a hot sauce. Someone had gotten me there's like a little pre-made, or there's like it's like a box, it's like a gift. It was a hot sauce making kit, like a starter kit.
Okay.
It had like simple recipes, some bags of dried peppers, gloves, a funnel, I think 3 5-ounce woozy bottles. Um, and it blew my mind because I had never even considered the fact that you could make your own hot sauce. Like hot sauce was just a thing that came from a store. It's like like
Yeah.
you can make this? What? Relatively easy. With the dried peppers, you rehydrate them, you blend it with spices and salt and vinegar and bottle it. And it's like, okay, like this is doable. So I started I started looking into it and just kind of slowly got hooked and kept looking up recipes. And in my spare time, I would be like watching hot sauce channels I found on YouTube or perusing forums, whatever. And then yeah, just kind of went from there. I'm curious, have you done any of the viral spice challenges, like the one chip, or wasn't there's like a ramen one as well? Have you done any of those?
Yeah, so I've done the ramen, the boldak or whatever however you say it.
Yeah,
I've tried all
the
the different
Korean.
iterations. Actually, I had no clue about those. I hadn't really seen them online or anything at the time. The first person to give me a bag of those was actually so she's moved, or she sold her business since, and there's now a new company there in its place doing the same thing. But the donut lady that was right by my house, she found out over time, like, hey, I really like spicy stuff, because I started asking her. Like, she had the jalapeno kolache, And then that's when next thing you know, I show up to get my donuts that following week, and she's like, "I got something for you." I was like, "Well, what is this?" She handed me those, and I ate them. And she was like, my husband can't even get through the full bag. He gets about halfway through and has to stop." And I was like, "Okay." So I tried it, and I was like, it does have some heat. I will give it that.
It's got some
But for
heat. It's
me,
good though. It's
for
real good.
yeah, no, it's tasty. But for me, I was like, this could be hotter. Like there's hotter things
Yeah.
locally, restaurant wise.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've done that one. I've done the one chip. I kind of stopped doing the one chip whenever. I think the last one was whenever it was that just the black
Blue one.
charcoal.
Oh,
Before they
black.
went to all the color changing mouth
Okay.
things and all that stuff. So that was the last time I did those. It was just like it was whenever they introduced that charcoal that it was. I don't know. I've had the charcoal in other stuff, but for some reason the chip already didn't taste great, but adding that made it just not taste any better. So
Yeah, the only one I tried was the blue one, and it was frankly one of the most disgusting things I've ever tasted. It was just tasted like pure chemical. If
yep.
that, like it was so artificial. It was hot. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was extremely hot. But I can't get over it, just like how bad it was. I was like, ugh, this is
Yep.
awful.
Yep. No, I've done the toe of Satan, the gummy bear or whatever, the nitro gummy. I've done what else? Speaking of horrid tasting challenges that are kind of in that same field, but man, it did not hit well for me. And quite a few other people I talked to, they were like, it was hands down the most disgusting ramen noodle challenge ever. And then you got those others that loved it, and they're like, "Oh, it's just because it was too hot." And it's like, no, it wasn't hot. I ate it perfectly fine. It was just a repulsive taste that kept lingering in the mouth. But the Coley's ramen noodles, they have like a challenge one, and it was horrid,
I haven't.
absolutely horrid.
I think I missed that one. Now you've got me curious. I'm gonna have to go look that up.
Yeah, Culley. Yeah, it just had a horrid taste, and I honestly wonder if it wasn't. So it comes in like multiple kits, like multiple things in that kit, right? I don't know if it was. It tasted like there was extract. There could have been, and I just might be forgetting that. But uh, for me personally, I prefer a non-extract sauce. It doesn't mean that I dislike every extract sauce, but whenever it's like super extract intensive, like that tasted, nah, that ain't for me. Like I like the flavors, I like the body of peppers, I like the heat that it brings, I like the way that it comes in and the way that it comes on. Have you had much experience with different extracts or
I don't
extract
think
products? I
so.
mean,
Yeah, I don't believe I have.
just know if you have one and you have one that has a higher, like we'll just say a higher volume of extract in it, even with a smaller amount, you'll notice it. But if you consume more, typically what I've noticed is like I'm a big coffee drinker, so the coffee the next day will end up hitting and just kind of messing with the taste buds, and it gives that metally almost taste, like a metally ting in your mouth of just nastiness, kind of to that point where you're saying like the pancakes tasted like cardboard. Uh,
Interesting.
it kind of does that, but strong, prevalent metal taste to it.
Yeah. This
So
is capsaicin extract?
yeah, yeah.
Oh, interesting.
So
Okay. Because I've seen the like pure capsaicin being sold,
mhm.
just like the crystals.
Yep.
But that's interesting.
Yeah,
I'll have to keep an eye
that
out for
dark
that.
sludge, nah. Now, but see, there are some companies that do make it, and they'll put extract in their sauce, and it actually tastes good. Like you can still taste the body, you can taste the extract, but it's not overbearing. And even some of those companies are able to do, like one in particular, Hellfire. They have um, they have their extract game like very fine tuned and dialed in. You can get a sauce from there, like they're doomed or double doomed or whatever. And sure, you can taste the extract, but you can't really like it's not as on the nose as say some others. Like the
Okay.
bomb is just straight extract, pretty much.
Okay. I was wondering. I've had the bomb. I had a friend who got the like hot one set, and I'd always wanted to try it because it's the most hated sauce on that show.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Well,
explains.
well, and there's a reason to that, both in the taste and in that is the highest heat sauce. I know that's a little bit of a controversial topic, but
It's hotter than Last Dab.
yeah, yeah,
Mm.
substantially. And actually, there's some proof and videos and different things that have been popping up lately, showcasing it all and everything that goes with it. But
Do you think they do that on purpose? Do you think that they put like this nasty sauce because it's generally what, second to last?
yeah, yeah, it's typically number 8 spot. Is kind of how that one sits, but it's I think that they stage it in there towards the end on purpose, yes, because one, it's roasting your taste buds, and two, it's one of those kind of lingering building heats. So 9 and 10, no matter what, already feel like they're hotter because you're still getting the residual from 8.
Yeah.
It hasn't always been this way, but if you take a look at their lineups and how it's gone, they've always started with their sauce, a midway point typically with their sauce, and then finish with one of their sauces.
Yeah.
They're selling sauce as well, so it makes sense that you would want to market your sauce in an appropriate light. And if it just happens to ride on some coattails heat wise of some other sauces,
Mm.
most people wouldn't pick up on that. So
I feel like also at least a few. I haven't seen like all of the episodes, but most of the episodes I've seen generally follows the pattern of the bomb. Oh, this is so horrible. This tastes awful. Last dab. Oh, this is actually really good. I
yeah,
wonder if there's some like compared to the previous one, like anything would taste good here. But
yeah, yeah,
what? To be fair, I've tried the last tab. It's good. Like I like it. Like
yeah.
it's a solid sauce.
It's got a very unique taste. And I'll say if you don't like cumin or that cumin taste,
Yeah, it's
it's
got
probably not
strong.
going to be the sauce for you because it's very cumin forward. But yeah, no, okay. But ultimately, all that to say, the products that I've tried and things that I've tried quite a few of the different viral ones. I haven't really tried everything. Like I'm not your guy that will like uh, go get a jalapeno and stuff it full of things and like no, like I'll put tincture in things like peppers like that and make gushers and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean it's I don't know. I think, and not to say that one person's thing is right or wrong. I just think you got to stay true to who you are, and that's just not true to who I am. Is just to rush out and go do that. So
Yeah.
that's why I typically avoid it. But all that to say as well. Now, obviously, we have you have Dragonfire, and you have that whole Dungeons and Dragons feel that goes on in your sauce and the way you present yourself at the events and everything you attend. I assume that you play Dungeons and Dragons. If so, how long have you been playing that?
Yeah, I've played it for I want to say 2 years now. Um, uh, uh, Consistently for 2 years. Uh, I kind of started to get into it the year before, but only played a few times. But I've had like a consistent, regular. I mean, it may be 3 years. I'm time is like it's wacky how
Yeah.
it works now, but 2 to 3
Yeah.
years.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, completely understand. Okay, so have you always like have you started with the tabletop, or did I know someone was telling me the other day that there's actually like a video game version of it now. Do you play it with just a tabletop or do you do the video game?
Yeah, probably referring to Baldur's Gate
Oh,
3,
probably.
I think, which is like uh, I just play tabletop.
Okay.
Um, so previously, I'd mostly like watched people playing Dungeons and Dragons before like I started playing. So there's these kind of like I don't know if you've seen. There's a lot of tabletop content that's like let's plays, where it's like people play board games, and then there's a lot like Critical Role is probably the most famous one. And then there's also another one that I watched called Dimension 20, where it's like comedians playing or improv comedians and voice actors and stuff playing, and they like it's kind of like half game and half performance or whatever. But so I was watching that for a few years before I ever actually started playing it. But
Okay.
no, I haven't really engaged with any of the like video games surrounding D&D. It's mostly just like we play on Tuesdays. Um, I'd like to say every Tuesday, but you know, closer to 2 3 times a month. We get everyone together, and it's the classic. We've got little miniatures that we push around on a table, and uh, it's fun. Yeah, it's a very good like social. It kind of drives the like. There's a good social aspect where you're catching up with people before the game, and hey, how was your week? What's going on? You grab a beer, you talk, you get into the game, and then it's like, I mean, I can go on for hours about. I think Dungeons and Dragons is a very unique, and really, I say Dungeons and Dragons because it isn't exclusive to, because that's a system. Dungeons and Dragons is a game system. There's infinitely many tabletop RPG systems,
Yep.
but you could insert your own system here, whichever one you prefer. But just the shared role playing, shared experience, narrative. It's like a narrative element where you kind of build the story together. It's really cool.
Yeah, no, that sounds super cool. It also made me think, do you ever incorporate the idea of hot sauce as, say, like a penalty to something that happens in the game?
I think we've done sauce shots before. Yeah. Um, it's funny. So my play group, they're the ones. Dragonfire exists because of them. Like like I had mentioned, I was just making hot sauce because somebody had given me like a starter gift of
Hmm.
like, or like a starter kit as a gift. I started making it, and so eventually I got to the point where I was trying out new recipes periodically, and turns out most of the people in my group love spicy food like me. They're big hot sauce aficionados, and so I would be bringing my sauce almost every Tuesday. I'd bring my sauce and be like, "Hey, try this sauce," Um, and so it just kind of became like a thing, and eventually, so the first sauce I ever sold, my brass recipe, it's a habanero peach hot sauce, and I, like I was making it and just giving it away to friends, bringing it on Tuesdays, and they were the first ones who had recommended like, have you considered like actually selling this stuff? And I was like taken aback by that because I when I got into making hot sauce, it wasn't with the end result being start a company, start selling. It
Yep.
was just it's a hobby, right? It's something fun. I enjoy cooking. I've generally always been like kind of a foodie. So it's like this nice intersection of fulfilling the like foodie aspect, the spicy aspect, the cooking aspect, and then also the social aspect of like the D&D. It was just like this nexus of things that all came together. But yes, to answer your original question, I believe we've done hot sauce shots as like, so in the game if you roll a 1 on the 20-sided die, that's a critical failure, and it's like something bad happens. So I think there was one week where it's like, oh, you rolled a 1, take a hot sauce shot,
Yeah.
which wasn't really punishment because it's like they eat my sauce anyway. So, but
Yeah, yeah. Well, as far as your inspiration, I mean, I know it sounds like that group is very pivotal in motivating you to make sauces and make this really come to life. Uh, where do you drive your inspiration for your sauces? Is it a lot of reflective, bounce it off ideas of that group, or is this more of like finding a void in your day to day and trying to fill it with hot sauce?
are you referring to the flavor itself, like the recipe,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
the
like the flavor,
naming?
the recipes and inspiration in that area.
Um, so the first one was very iterative. Is extremely iterative. Um, it's just I had seen a recipe for a peach hot sauce before somewhere, and I love peaches. Peach, one of my favorite fruits. I live in Texas. I'm native to Texas, so southern. It's a big southern thing.
Mhm.
But so I love peach flavored anything. So I was like, dude, I gotta make this. And then I tried it and I kind of iterated on it a few times before I really found like a version of it that I really liked. Um, the so that was brass. So that's eventually became brass. Was my peach habanero sauce. Um, the gold, which is my it's kind of a variant of brass. Instead of peach, it's pineapple, and it's got like I swapped out the habaneros for Scotch bonnets. And I use like some Jamaican jerk seasoning, so it's kind of like a Caribbean style hot sauce. Um, that one I was just purely experimenting. I was like, okay, what can I do? What can I swap out from brass to like make a new sauce? And I don't exactly remember how I I had found Scotch bonnets in the store one day, and I was like, I'd
Mhm.
never cooked with these before. Let me try it. And then I think I was out of peaches, and it wasn't. It was like winter or something, and so it like you could only I try to use fresh peaches in my sauces, so like there weren't any fresh peaches to be had.
Yeah.
So I just grabbed a pineapple. It's like we'll just experiment with it, and I kind of uh, iterated off of that a few times to arrive at the gold sauce. Um, I guess to answer your question, it's just kind of random. Like
Okay.
I didn't seek out to create like this sauce is missing in the world. I must make it. It's more just I'm just playing around with flavors. Uh, I'm 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 constantly looking at recipes. Like I probably read on some weeks I probably go through like I don't know 5, 10 recipes a week, just reading them and looking at the sauces. And I've got like a note. I've got a notes page where I like write down flavor combinations to try at some point. I've got so many hot sauce notes that it's like the queue of sauces for me to make will it could last me years
Yeah.
just from what I've written down. But that's always kind of been my thing. Like I'm always when I get into something, kind of my appetite outpaces my ability to keep up with it. So
Yeah, no.
I always kind of like accrue projects. And so I've got three sauces really that I sell, three main sauces with like variants. So there's the brass, which is the habanero peach, gold, which is the pineapple Scotch bonnet, and then I have a green sauce, which is a fermented verde sauce. That's my only fermented hot sauce. Um, Moving forward, I'm looking or I'm attempting to create sauces based around, and this is kind of ties into like my branding, based around the colors of the dragons in Dungeons and Dragons. So that's where the
Ah.
naming ties in, and this is kind of how it all got started. Because I when I was starting when it was all formulating in my brain, I was thinking about starting a company. I was like, okay, I want to tie into D&D somehow, but I don't want it to be just like fully dependent on Dungeons and Dragons. So it's like a dragon is generic enough. It exists across all fantasy, like but it still has the like nod to Dungeons and Dragons because it's like, you know,
Yeah.
it's half of the name of the game.
Yeah.
So in Dungeons and Dragons, like in the D&D mythology, there's 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 five chromatic dragons, which are the colors, right? Which is like red, black, blue, green, and white. I want to say, although I feel like they change from edition to edition. But I believe in fifth edition, red, black, blue, green, and white are like the main uh, five of the chromatic
Mm.
dragons. And then there's five metallic dragons. So brass, gold, silver. There's two more that are escaping. Bronze, weirdly, which is similar to brass, but brass, gold, bronze, silver, and maybe copper or something. I don't exactly remember. Regardless, so my plan is to have a sauce for each of the 5 main like chromatic dragons, and
Yep.
then maybe eventually a sauce for the metallic dragons. So it's like green, I've got green down. I'm working on red and I'm working on black right now. So I'm I'm not sure what I'm gonna do for blue because it's gonna be hard to make a blue sauce, uh, or white even. Like how do you make a white hot sauce?
Yeah. Yep.
Although I've seen some things that have given me, but so I guess for now it's kind of like an interesting. Uh, it's someone once told me about like you know you have to put constraints, like putting constraints on something can be helpful at times
Yep.
for like creativity, because otherwise there's too much. So like for artists sometimes we'll have like constraints. It's like, okay, and when you work within these constraints it helps you to find creative solutions to stuff. So I guess for me, the constraints I put on myself for my future sauces are, I gotta make a red sauce, which are arguably the easiest. And I've experimented with a lot of different variants. I think I'm close, so stay tuned. But
Okay.
I'm excited about black because I've got some really interesting peppers from Fuego Fruit Company,
Okay.
who's just down the street from me, and I believe he was on this podcast recently.
Yep. Yep.
But
Sure
he
was.
he grew a very interesting cultivar that of black peppers that I'm currently working on a sauce for. So, but yeah, that's that's kind of that's kind of why. So that's why like my main sauce when I made the habanero peach, basically I brought it to D&D 9 and was like, what's the closest dragon color to this? And we agreed upon the brass dragon. He's kind of like, if you go Google him, I mean, he's kind of like an orange, like a sandy orange color dragon. My friend calls him, he's the Chad of the dragon world, which I don't know. I just think that's
Yep.
funny. I love that.
Throw this on screen. We'll take a look at these. So that's what we have popping up here. Is that about what?
Yeah, that's him. Yeah, that's him. So there, these aren't like common creatures, and like you don't encounter these a lot. But like if you play D&D, but yeah, that's the brass dragon.
Okay.
So
Okay. Very cool. I like it. I like the direction, the inspiration, and the trial ground that you have established for not only your sauces, but helping kind of guidance and direction and naming, etc. You really have it, as you're saying, having it in a fixed area, a fixed thought process track, and then just being able to build and expand upon that and bring in new things to that box as opposed to just being kind of scattershot. So very very cool. And yeah, the white peppers. I've seen a lot of folks try that. I know I've tried to make mine once. I did a fermented using the white night peppers. And it ended up coming out almost an off white, more of a light yellow between that and white. And I mean, it was a great tasting sauce, but not as white as I was hoping to deliver that because it, like I said, kind of came out a little bit yellow. But there's some other folks out there that are just crushing it, and theirs is like insane. I don't even know how they are able to maintain that color. So
yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be an interesting challenge. Like I'm looking forward to it. I'm probably gonna save that one for last, but because I gotta
actually,
get
now that I
I,
think about it, a great if you're keeping the iteration of fruit added, I mean,
Mhm.
I think it would be a missed opportunity to not use for two reasons to not use dragon fruit as
Yeah,
that because
yeah.
obviously dragon and it being white.
Everyone has asked me when not everyone, but a lot of people have mentioned, hey, do you put dragon fruit in your sauces? And it's gonna happen eventually. It has to because
Yeah.
of DragonFire. Like, come on.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's super cool. I like it. I like it a lot. All right. As far as your own personal heat source level, if you will, where do you like to use as like an everyday sauce threshold? Like, is there a pepper or a sauce that you can think of that you're like, that's a pretty good everyday use?
For me, just like every day, I uh, I generally like between Serrano and Habanero.
Okay.
So I don't eat like super hots very often, frankly. Um, I used to eat them more often, but these days it's I don't know. I'm getting older, I guess. But I, I, and my sauces too, they're much the same. Like my original sauces, none of them had super hots in them. I made a variant of brass, which I call ancient brass or ancient dragon, that I swap out the habaneros for Carolina Reapers, just because at festivals or markets, I'd have people asking for hotter sauces. Like, do you have anything hotter than this? So it's like, fine, like I'll make a Reaper sauce, and it's good. It's a good sauce. Uh, but personally, I love the flavor of a habanero. I love the fruitiness um, of the pepper. Um, Probably my favorite pepper, and Serrano being a close second. I love this like citrusy notes that you get from a Serrano pepper. Um, my favorite pepper to eat, just like cooked, is a Serrano, like a nice sautéed um, Serrano pepper that's got like it's blackened on one side and it's soft. It's like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
it's so good. Um,
Yep.
so generally, the hot sauces I eat regularly are going to be in that range. So
Okay. Okay. Very cool. I like it. Like, let's do this. Let's go ahead and jump on over to the game. All right, here we go. We have the 5. This is a very fun and unique game where there's going to be 5 images here. And for all those that are just audio or audio listening only really, or even those that are watching now and they're wanting to figure out exactly what's coming up on the screen, I'll go ahead and list them off as they come up. And it's your goal to assign them anywhere from 1 to 5 really. So, 1 could be the best, or 5 could be the best. It is entirely up to you. And we have seen it where 1 will start out with the intent of being the best, but something else comes out that's better, and then all of a sudden the tables flip and 5 becomes the best. So, up first, we have, I'll just grab that one, festivals. So, basically, hot sauce festivals or events.
okay, I'm gonna put this at 2
All right, 2 it
because they're
is.
good, but I'm worried there may be something better coming up, and I'm gonna stick probably with 1's the best.
All right. I
But we'll
like I
see.
like the thought process behind it. Let's go ahead and grab the next one. So, up next, this is to resemble just energy drinks as a whole. It's just a random picture of a whole bunch of different energy drinks.
Energy drinks, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to put at 5.
All right.
This is for me personally. No judgment to people. I am weirdly sensitive to caffeine. I'm very sensitive to caffeine, so I can't really drink it. If I have a normal cup of coffee, like caffeinated coffee, I get like heart palpitations. So I'm fairly certain an energy drink would just straight up kill me. Like,
Well,
uh,
yeah, that would make sense as to why you wouldn't want that there. And completely understand. Let's go ahead and move this one out then. We'll get this one on the board. That is
coffee.
coffee. Coffee
Okay,
itself.
I do drink a lot of decaf coffee,
Okay.
which I understand. Any person who's like into coffee rolls their eyes immediately because they're like, oh, decaf, you know, whatever. Okay, I
I
get it.
drink it from time to time, but I also love the taste of coffee. And there's
I
sometimes when it's just like I've had a little bit too much coffee today and I recognize that, and so I'll have a decaf.
I like the taste of coffee. My body doesn't let me drink caffeine. It's all I've got. Like,
Yep.
don't come at me. I like coffee. Well, let's put it at 3.
All right. Number 3 it is. Easy enough. All right. Up next, we have All right, here we go. This is just, this is just to represent a night inside, basically a stand. You're staying at home, you're just relaxing, whether that be TV, whether that be playing games, whether that be whatever. But the picture embodies being at home.
Yeah. Throw that one.
All right. One it is. Get it on over there. All right, so, well, it is what it is, and looks like going in the number 4 spot is Texas.
No, Texas. Oh gosh.
A little bit loaded
This
there.
episode's not airing in Texas, is it?
This special episode is not making its debut in just kidding. All right. Well, here's the fun part. This is round 1. This is just kind of getting an understanding of how the game goes and how everything's going to be played. Is now knowing that everything's out here and knowing that we can't necessarily change it. Is there anything that you would have changed knowing now what's out here?
I probably would swap 1 and 2. Yeah.
Okay.
Hot sauce festivals are they're fun, man. They're so much fun. Don't get me wrong. I love a good night in. I love watching a movie, with friends or with my kids or whatever. But yeah, definitely would have swapped 1 and 2.
All right. I like it. Let's run it back for another round. All right, here we go. Second round of the 5. We have it coming back now. This one is going to be a different topic, different direction, but the same understanding of what's going on. So here we go. First up, we have Final Fantasy. This is just to earmark the whole trilogy, whether it be one game that stands out, etc. But Final Fantasy as a whole.
I have personally never played a Final Fantasy game.
Okay.
I know that Final Fantasy VII was a big one. I believe that's one that had Cloud and Sephiroth. And I know Cloud had a giant sword, which I'm assuming this is Cloud, maybe. Because I know one of them had a giant sword.
Quite possibly.
That's like the extent of my knowledge.
I think I've played. I played a few here and there, but the only one I ever really got into was the online. I think it was 10 or something that came out when it was online.
Yeah.
Back with like PlayStation 2 and the computer were the two places that you could play it. And yeah, had a lot of fun with that until I realized that whenever it says 2 weeks required in a game, that it actually meant like real time 2 weeks required to achieve something. And I was just like, and I'm done with this game.
That's approaching like EVE Online levels of.
Yeah,
that's nuts.
It was wild, and that was the extent of me playing that. Where would you like this one going?
Yeah, we'll throw that in 5.
All right.
No hate for Final Fantasy fans. I know nothing about it.
Yep. Let's. I'm gonna move this one out of the way because it's in the way. So we're pulling this one out next, regardless of order. Wow, I need to resize that. But Diablo. So in particular, Diablo 2 on this one.
I also never played Diablo. I have played Diablo-esque games.
Mm-hmm.
Torchlight.
Mm-hmm.
2, I think, for a little bit, and then I played Path of Exile quite a bit.
Okay.
I've not played Path of Exile 2, which I believe just came out, or maybe it's about to come out. I don't remember, but I quite enjoyed Path of Exile. Yeah. We'll put Diablo at 3.
Okay.
I know Diablo 2 was a groundbreaking game, huge.
Absolutely.
Hit, and I think kind of inspired the genre.
Yep.
I know people. I remember people in high school talking about it, and so yeah, I'm a big fan of other Blizzard games.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, maybe some of those will make their appearance. We'll see. I had a lot of seat time with the whole Diablo series. I have not touched Diablo 4. I know, Elon always hypes it up and all this other stuff, but I've never. I'm a bit of a purist. So Diablo 2, LOD, like the Diablo 2 and the expansion, great games. Loved it. Had a lot of time in there. Got it when it released and all the fun stuff. But yeah, now obviously games are something, unfortunately, that are a thing of the past for me because of just my kids and family and everything else. But
No, I get it. Most of the games I play these days are with my kids, so it's like
yep, that
we're not
makes
playing.
sense.
We're not quite to Diablo 2 yet with mine.
Yeah. All right. So this
Okay.
is Dungeons and Dragons, a tabletop RPG, is what this represents.
That goes in at number 1 for sure.
There we go. I figured I wouldn't do you wrong and bring this out last. I'll go ahead and roll it out
That
now
would have
before.
been mean. That would have been so mean.
All right, here we go. Up next. Yeah, it's already noticed. It's already out there.
World
All right.
of Warcraft.
World of Warcraft. Another Blizzard game. Different era.
Okay. So
Same
I have
thing.
2 different kind of trains of thought for this. There's the train of thought, like my personal experience with the game, which is minimal. I played it, I want to say, for almost 2 weeks straight when it came out, and then I never again. I've never touched it since. So, however, I played the ever-loving daylight out of Warcraft 3, The Frozen Throne. So
Yep.
I love that like universe it's set in. I love the world.
Uh-huh.
I played so many of uh, it was summer of my senior year before I went to college.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, all summer long, I would log into Frozen Throne, go to battle.net, and play like the custom maps or whatever.
Yep.
And that was like my thing. There were looking back. Okay, you have kids.
Yep.
I don't know if your kids are old enough. Are they into like Roblox and stuff like
So
that?
I have a 15-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 4-year-old.
Did your 15-year-old ever play Roblox?
No, didn't.
No.
He was into. It's all like 8 block. It's all pixelated like that.
Minecraft.
Yeah, there we go. Minecraft.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, did you ever play Warcraft 3?
Yeah. I played a lot of the Warcraft as well.
The custom games, looking back on it, because they were all just like these random, I won't say mini games, but it was like so random the kind of stuff you got. Looking back, it's funny because like I mock my kids, mock them for playing Roblox, because all Roblox is just like mini games that like people make.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like I think Warcraft 3 customs were the Roblox of our time, or
Yeah.
my time anyway.
Yeah.
I will put this in at number 4.
Number 4.
I know that it's a monumentally groundbreaking game. Personally, I never played World of Warcraft beyond the initial 2 weeks, but
Fair
I
enough.
do quite enjoy the world of Azeroth and all this stuff that went into it.
Yeah. It's definitely also one of those games as well that consumes a lot of your time if you let it.
Yeah.
All right. Number 2,
Skyrim.
like it or hate it, it's now Skyrim.
Yep.
Kind of all of these somewhat in that same feel, that same vein, just a different approach to it. Or, one may be a little bit more than another, but they all have their overlap, if you will, to them. All right. Well, now, once again, your chance to explain. Would you have changed anything around and knowing what is out there now? Or would you keep it all the same?
Going from the vantage point of my own personal interaction with them, I would probably swap 3 and 4. So I put World of Warcraft, because I've actually played World of Warcraft, albeit for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Never played Diablo, so I feel like I kind of have to rank that higher.
Fair enough.
But otherwise, yeah, I think this is a good order.
Now's the fun time where you get to explain a nugget of knowledge for all those that are out there. This would be more geared towards somebody that would be really just trying to break into the idea of creating their own spicy product. What would your nugget of knowledge be for them?
My nugget of knowledge would be find if you're in Texas, go to NTX Hot Sauce Fest. Get on the list. If you're not in Texas, find the closest hot sauce festival thing and go there. Because for me, number one most helpful thing has been it was there was a group on Instagram that was formed from just the hot sauce producers going to the festival, and there's a group chat, and being in that group chat has been like revolutionary because there are so many things that you don't even know. You don't know what you don't know, right?
Yep.
There were so many things I learned from just like passively watching this group chat and people talking about how do you handle this, and I'm like, I've never even considered the fact that I have to handle that. Like, just the amount of knowledge that I've gained from being in a chat with other guys, some of whom have been in the industry for years, and from all walks of life. Like I'm still under cottage law right now, but I'm looking at going commercial, getting into commercial kitchen.
Mm.
And some of these guys have been in commercial kitchens for years, using co-packers, etc. And so, yeah, number one nugget of wisdom is get into that group wherever it is for wherever you are. Find the people who've been doing it. And I will say, like, it's not super surprising because most of the people I've come across who do this are very cool people, very laid back, very open. But it's like I've never met someone who is in this industry or in this business who hasn't just been, hey, let me tell you everything, like
Yep.
just fully open about, almost excited to have like someone else join the club. Like it's really cool just seeing how helpful everyone is and how open they are. And it's like, hey, where'd you get your labels? And everyone kind of vomits out, oh, try this, try this, try this. How do you handle this aspect of production? And then 50 people are troubleshooting this guy's sauce, and it's just like it's so cool how collaborative it is.
Absolutely. So. Very well said too. All right, the hot seat nomination. Now this is your chance to put someone else on the hot seat. This is someone that you think would make a great guest for the show.
Yeah, Eddard Teach Trading Company, based out of Liberty Hill, Texas, is my nomination. So they were my booth mate at North Texas Hot Sauce Festival this past year. And he makes very interesting sauce. It's kind of like a buffalo-ish. I don't think he calls it a buffalo sauce, but it's kind of creamy, and it's that orange color. It's very good. I got a bottle, used it very fast, and I kind of want some more. So I'm going to have to look them up and get another bottle. But yeah, very interesting sauce and a very cool guy. Also so random. We went to rival high schools together. We graduated the same year from the same town, from opposing high schools, and so it was cool kind of talking to him about some of that stuff.
Yeah, no, definitely, and I look forward to having him on. I will be setting up a time to schedule. Works out best for both of us. Do you have anything else you want to share with everyone that's watching or listening?
Keep an eye on my on the Instagram. I'm going to be posting updates I've got red is coming soon. My red sauce will be out sometime for Q1 next year is kind of my target. So I'm closing in. My sauces are always an iterative process, and I'm close to finalizing it. So.
And what's the Instagram that they can follow you at?
At DragonFire Sauce.
Well, keep on up with everything you're doing. I love the direction that you're going. I love the inspiration that you have and just the overall passion and motivation behind your sauce. So looking forward to it. And it's been an honor having you on here and looking forward to having you back. Let's go ahead and wrap up the show.
Thank you so much.
Dan, thank you so much for coming on to be able to learn about your passion, your drive, your inspiration, your hunger to continue to learn about new ways to create sauces and new ingredients and how they can play in together is very cool. Looking forward to what you continue to do and watch your success take off. If you are looking to pick up either of these sauces, I'll have the links for that directly down below, as well as ways that you can keep up with DragonFire Hot Sauce. If you are interested in sponsoring the swear word, we have now opened up sponsorships for 2025. So go ahead and reach out on socials or head on over to www.theswearword.net. And we'll get that ball rolling. Could not do this without y'all. Thank you so much, Swear Nation. And another group that I could not thank more is podvision.io. If you have hit a bump in the road and you're trying to figure things out, maybe you have a brand that you're trying to figure out the branding, and you're trying to figure out how to do everything that you need to do without really having to stress about it. You really want to shine in the areas that you're best in. Highly recommend checking out podvision.io for all your needs. And don't forget, you can always check in every Tuesday and Thursday for a brand new episode of The Swear Word, and much more fun plans for 2025 to roll out. Some very fun and new episodes that will be shaken out here soon. So looking forward to it, as well as some new additions to the overall podcast. Episode 66 is in the books. I'm Brandon Swear, and from everything from the world of hot, this has been The Swear Word.